on this computer. Okay. Oh, there's Shannon too. Okay, we're recording.
Okay, and can you share the screen?
Well, I think you're going to share your screen.
Can I say that from here? Share. There we go.
I'm going to mute everybody. Just to. Oh, wait, I muted you. Hold on, Jeannie. Unmute. Okay, now you're unmuted.
Uh-oh.
There you go.
Did I share the wrong screen?
No, you just got to turn it on to slideshow.
No, let's see. Let me go back.
Go up to the top.
No, I know, but I don't see my screen. I just see something else.
Oh, I see your screen.
You do?
Yeah.
What do you see on my screen? Do you see the director?
Yeah, director bound call number 10, but it's in like edit mode.
Oh, no, that's okay. I can change the mode.
There you go.
Okay, now I see it. Okay, perfect. All right, good. So here we are. Can you believe it? We're director bound 10. And yes, we have 3 more calls after this one. So hopefully you've already seen some impact in your business just by creating new habits. And we keep talking about those habits because to make it a habit, right, we have to do it multiple times. So hopefully you're looking at your dream board, you're reading your affirmations, working on the miracle morning or variations thereof. Weekly contacts, right? That's one of our big, important, fluffy habits, big, bad habit that we need to make sure we're doing. And that, you know, if you can get to the 25 2 ways, minimally you want to make 25 contacts, right? If you can do 25 2 ways, that's really the ultimate goal if you really want a big, thriving business. Customer care contacts 222, we're working on those techniques as well. So hopefully they're going well for you. How about the go for no's? Who went go for no's? And can you go give us a wave in the camera if you went for a go for no? Okay, does anyone have a line filled up in the go for no yet? At least one line where you got to celebrate? Okay, if not, get to your celebration, okay? All right. So for March, we have a couple of fun things. I was not flipping my little things. Here's your go for no's. We have a couple goals for March. Okay, so March, we really want to help you get those 6 shows submitted. Anyone on track for 6 shows submitted, you can wave. Give us a wave if you are. If you're not, you're working toward something really important. Once you start submitting 6 shows a month, you're going to see a real paycheck impact, okay? So keep submitting. You're trying to work toward that 6 shows and filling that no tracker. Okay, so what is going on today? Today, we are going to be sharing with you and focusing about generating interest for the business opportunity at your parties. So those of you who are virtual consultants, you can just sort of alter some of these ideas today, and you certainly can do a live Q&A or a live commercial during your parties, okay? You can also just videotape one and just do a video of you introducing some of the concepts we're going to talk about today, okay? So, you know how we were talking, we've been talking about recruiting now. We talked about full service checkout last week, and the week prior to that, we talked about your story and having an intriguing introduction, okay? And then when you work on your story, you want that confident close, okay? So you're going to want to master that confident close. And this is about where I usually put in this particular focus, which is after, you know, sprinkling some ideas into the party, we're coming toward the end of the show. So that's where we're fast forwarding, is toward the end of your show, okay? So this is where you're going to have your confident close, okay? And with that, you want to share your Everyday Better brochure. So hopefully you're all pretty familiar with the Everyday brochure, okay? So how I do it is I say something like, so toward the end of the show, after I tell them something like this. So earlier this evening, I told you why I started my Pampered Chef business, but it's become so much more than that. Let me tell you why I stayed with Pampered Chef. And then I go into my confident close, okay? Now, after I've kind of, usually with that, I slow my pace. I really try to engage with eye contact and gain their attention. So now that you have your attention, I get a little bit silly because I use these little cards. If you went to the regional event, you could see those little cards that Carol Murphy was showing us. And so I tend to use these cards. And I say, so I look in the audience and I say, oh, I knew someone was going to have a question, more questions about our business opportunity. So I hand them this little card. And on the card, it says, can you please tell me more about the Pampered Chef business and what it takes to get started? And usually people, I say, oh, I'm so glad you asked. And people start to chuckle because obviously it was a setup, right? I gave someone the card. And so it's a kind of a levity. And then I say, oh, so yes, if everybody could please take out their Make Your Everyday Better brochure. So you just want to get everybody to actually physically take that out of, if you have a packet or if it's tucked in a catalog, have them physically take it out, okay? And then you want to flip it over to the back, and you want to, I put notes on the side of mine, and then I actually do engage the crowd, okay? And so I say something down like, so, there's different types of people that do different things in Pampered Chef for different reasons. So the first category is for more money for fun. So whether you're doing that for getting mani and pedis, or I know some of you in the beginning when you referred to loving shoes, so to fulfill your shoe fetish, or maybe it's that date night for you and your husband to go out for that special dinner, or perhaps a gym membership. It's more money for more fun. And then there's those of you who want to support the household budget. So what does this look like? And so then you can say things like student loan payments, car payments, groceries. And then on this, you want to definitely engage your crowd and let them, and you could say, so how many hours per week does someone work to gain how much money? And then you can go ahead and they'll say, oh, 3 to 6 hours. Then the income is 665 to 1,110. Wow. It's like, yes, isn't that amazing? And then you move on and you go to, and there's also some consultants that are in category number 3 with the piggy bank because they're looking for a big financial goal. Anyway, you run down your little brochure just as it says, and you give them examples. Try to pull out examples, especially about like if you play a game at the beginning or in the introduction, you get ideas of what people throw out of what they would do with an extra $500 a month. If you try to go back to that and tie in any of those, you might want to say $500 to $1,500 a month because that's where most people fall into in Pampered Chef and those categories, right? So what would you do with that kind of money? So that way you can tie those real reasons why what people would do with money into your wrapping up there, okay? All right, so after you've kind of just generated a lot of thinking and a lot of thoughts, that's where we come into that other level of engagement because you really want them to ask you questions because you're still kind of informing right now, but you want to invite them to ask specific questions. So there's different ways to do that. But tonight I'm going to tell you about stealing hearts. So does anyone do stealing hearts at their shows? Anyone ever play this game? No? Okay.
Shannon has.
So, pardon me?
Shannon has.
Anna has, all right. So I like this game, and I just practiced a couple things on some friend groups that I've been in and to ask for some feedback because I'm trying to, always improve what I'm doing, right? So, and they just again said they just love this game. It happens to be, they think it's just totally fun because it is fun. People like having fun. Okay, so we want to always reproduce if it generates fun and it generates good questions, then it's something you want to hold on to, right? So you can try different things until you find something that works for you. This happens to work for me, okay? So how you play Stealing Hearts, I could get more into the details later, but essentially you have 13 cards, right? If you want, you can throw in a joker, get a 14th question. And then you also have, I match them with, I just have another set of 13 spades, okay? So there's really those questions that I want to get them engaged in asking, okay? And so usually I tell them something like, so who wants to win a prize? So after I do the everyday brochure piece, I say, so who wants to win a prize tonight? And they go, me, right? So I usually take my prize bag out and I pull a couple things and I do a little poll and I say, okay, I love our little towels, so those cranberry vine towels. So I hang one over my arm, got the cranberry vine towel, or maybe it's a small cutting mat, or maybe it's a season's best or a little knife, nothing expensive. And we pick 2 of those. Okay, so I get them all excited because they pick their 2 prizes. Okay, we have 2 prizes then in the group. All right, guys, so I'll tell you how you're going to earn your prizes in a bit, but let's see who has the first question. Now, no questions are off limits. You can absolutely ask anything about my business. And who wants to start? And so they just start asking questions. And again, if people are a little bit quiet, you can help them out and give them a prompt and say, or I have my Y bag too as a backup. So I pull something out of my Y bag and I just say, oh, Sally, and I pull out like a house. I thought you wanted to learn more about how people actually can pay off their mortgage. And then I just pull different things out if I don't get spontaneous questions. So that's just an easy way for me to get them going, okay? Now, so then when you're playing the Stealing Hearts, you really want to generate those interesting questions and just make sure no questions are off limits. And if you need to, practice with friends, and like I did too, practice with friends, and so that you feel very comfortable with your answers, okay? So remember then who really focus in on your crowd. There's usually going to be someone who's asking more questions than others, okay? And then sometimes there's people that don't have any cards, and so you say, oh, who wants to get a card? I say, do you want a card? I bet you have a question. And I help them kind of get a question. Anyway, you get rid of all the cards. Now, 2 things. One way you're going to use this is when you're at the full service checkout toward the next piece that you're going to go to, you're going to say to that person who asked a lot of questions something like, gee, you asked me a lot of questions during the Stealing Hearts game. What did I say tonight that inspired you about the business opportunity? And so then you can have a conversation right there. Okay? Now, if during the game you had somebody that, you can add this on. This is like an add-on to Stealing Hearts, and actually I learned this just recently, so I haven't done this yet, but I'm very intrigued. So you can add on by, it's called the 3-story envelopes. Has anyone heard of this before? Okay. So anyway, 3-story envelopes. You add this into your Stealing Hearts game. So if somebody actually asks you the question, how much money do you make, right? So it could be you personally, but also you collectively, y'all, right? And so you definitely want to give people the different categories, or glimpse of the different categories, right? You want to have someone that would fit in here, maybe in line 2, 3, and hey, maybe even line 4. So Anna or whoever, or I have people on my team that have some really fat paychecks. So it doesn't have to necessarily be your story, but somebody's story on our team. Okay, so so really, because what they're wondering is how often, and oftentimes too, they say, how often do you leave your home to make that kind of money? Because people are always looking at how do how much effort is it, right? So you want to also, some people that maybe do virtual shows, maybe somebody that does a hybrid, and maybe someone who's all home. So you could kind of give them a cross sampling of different people, okay? But what you'll want is a paycheck, and you'll want to kind of know what their schedule is, and you can see it from their paycheck. And so we can say, well, you can talk to the people that you could say, excuse me. I'm going to answer that question. So if they say, how many times do you leave the house or how much money you make, you would say, I'm going to answer that question with these 3 envelopes. And then you hand the envelopes out to the 3 most excited people in the room. Okay? So once they have the envelopes, there's an envelope named number 1, an envelope named number 2, and one named number 3. So you start with 1. That's the smaller paycheck one. Okay, and you say, who was number 1? And then you, the customer, you ask them to read the story. And in it, so you have a little summary of the story, and you always ask the question, how many times did she leave her house that month? And then she would say how many times they left. You would highlight that. And so if they left the house 3 times, and then they did 10 virtual shows, so they had 13 shows, and their paycheck was, a couple $1,000s. You want to say, wow, she left her house 3 times because she has this virtual side of her business, and you can talk to that. Or if someone has a Hopin live party, show, she left her house 3 times and she had this paycheck. Or she left her house 5 times and had this paycheck. But you're really going to paint a picture, and maybe the one that left it 3 times has a big team because they've developed a team. So you'll want an example, again, from Anna or from myself, of what that looks like on your team, that even though they only left their house 3 times, what does it look like when you build a team and have a vibrant team? And what is that paycheck? How's that impact? Okay, so it's a really kind of a very visual way to share, giving a profile of real people. So it's kind of neat because the brochure talks about real numbers in Pampered Chef. You bring it a step closer to home when these are real people that you know or you're associated with, okay, in the 3 envelope story. And so then you really show them, you paint the picture that you can make serious career income in Pampered Chef, in addition to making some great fun money. So you give them the whole gamut, okay? And so, and I will go ahead and I'd be happy to post information about those 3 envelopes to our website, okay? I'll work on that and give some examples, all right? Okay, so just a big wrap up. We are going to try some new gaming, maybe something like Stealing Hearts. If you don't like that game, you can try different games, but games are great. I know Anna tells a story, like a poem. The tickets, using tickets are great too, that you can engage with. And what it is people like prizes. It's an easy way to give people prizes. It's a great way to engage, and it's way more fun when you are answering their questions than you just spewing out facts and figures, right? You're actually engaging them, and then they might not have known they were excited, but they got excited when they started asking questions. Okay, so this week's homework, we're going to continue what we've been doing. Continue your Miracle Morning routine. Work on that monthly tracker and look at your numbers. Start really analyzing. Again, to get to your goal, right, you need to understand where you are and understand where you want to go, all right? So you want to bridge that distance by, when you track your numbers, you start understanding the picture and how, gee, if I raise that number, this would impact me over here. Or if I work on that number, I can impact over there. So, but you really need to track to see what's going on, okay? All right, you want to try your 25 two-way combos, all right? And keep that Go for No tracker going on this recruiting month, okay? Big recruiting month. Want to try to go for those 6 parties and submitted this month. That's a big go for some of you. And I know a lot of you are getting closer. Every month you're kind of growing a little. And that's what we want. We want to see growth, okay? And if you can get another 2 March or April parties, go for it, okay? Virtual parties are pretty easy to add on. We're only at the middle of the month, so you could still do it. You could still generate that for the last week of March. Okay, so the new thing we're adding is we want you to add at least one generating interest technique into your show. So just to sum up today, we did your Make Your Everyday Better brochure, right? You want to work on that. And gosh, Anna, do you have a live video of that yet? Do you play that at all in your virtual shows?
The Stealing Hearts?
No, the Make Your Everyday Better brochure. Do you do that in your virtuals?
I do have a video that I put at the end, and I may do that. And if I do, I'll post it on the page for you guys. I believe that I do. It does talk about that.
Mm-hmm. So, because I'm still trying to get mine better. I mean, I like it, and I'm better spontaneous in a show than I am canned. So I might have to just get someone have me, a friend that's at a show, maybe ask her to just videotape it someday, and that just works a lot better for me. So anyway, but that's like, try to do that, or you could do a live video if you're good at your videos and editing videos. Go for it, and then you could use that little brochure, and then you can add that to your virtual shows.
Mm-hmm. Stealing
Hearts really, I think, is a live game. There might be a way to go live and enjoy playing, and I don't know that answer yet, but I'm sure that you can go live in a Q&A that's a lot of fun, and just keep tallies of the cards.
Didn't Chelsea say that was that the game she said that she does play? There's some game that we play at parties that she said she does play live in her virtuals.
I'll have to ask her that again.
I can't remember what it was.
Okay, I'll have to ask her. I didn't think it was Stealing Hearts. But let me just tell you too how Stealing Hearts wraps up. So once all the hearts are out there, how you wrap up that game is you have those matching set of cards, right? So you have the 13 spades, all right? And so you say, okay, time for prizes. And so you pull a queen of spades. And you say, who has a queen of hearts, right? And then, so Sally has a queen of hearts, she grabs the towel. And then, okay, who has the two of hearts? And Betty had the two of hearts, and so she gets the paring knife. And then we have Sue, who I pull a 3 of hearts, and Sue has to steal from one of the other two people, right? So it's like, oh, I want that paring knife. So she steals it. So it's like the Secret Santa swap kind of thing. And you just keep stealing from each other until the last person has, sometimes they land up with both prizes because they had the most questions and they happen to have the cards pulled at the end. But that's really how it works. And then you do that really fast, so it's not boring, and it's funny, and they laugh and they steal, and it's just fun. So if you're making people have fun, since that's the last part of your party, that's what they remember a lot, okay, is they remember what you did at the beginning, they remember what you did at the end. Sometimes you miss a lot in the middle, okay? But so you're ending on a high note, and they'll want to repeat that experience again. And that's what you want to do, okay? Now, the other one is the option of making the 3-story envelopes, okay? So you have 3 new ideas there if you haven't tried those before, or if it's been a while, maybe it's time to blow off the dust and try these again, okay? But try something new and keep it fresh and find out what works. And you'll see it on your tracker. If you start generating more leads, or you're starting to recruit leads, then you know something's working with what you've changed at your shows. And that's another reason why it's so important to track, okay, is that we need to just see what is how we're impacting our business with some of the changes that we bring in there. All right? So any questions?
Jeannie, I did do yesterday's, because it was on my fun list from the training in Vermont and New Hampshire to do the brochure. from you guys. So I had a ton of the brochures, and I handed it out right away with their contact paper and with the catalog. And I said, we're going to get to this later, but I'm going to give it to you now, and we'll come right back to that. And so I actually showed it to him a couple times throughout the party, and near the end. And I said, remember, I told you a little bit of why I started. Now we're going to go back to why I'm still at it. And I didn't do great at it. I know I didn't, but I talked about, okay, so remember I said why I started, because I thought it was fun. And I said, remember, nobody asked me why I had the Mickey hat ears on. I completely forgot I had them on. And now I'm working for, going for this. And my husband just had a car accident. And now we're not sure, so now this is actually going to be helping me, help the household even more. And so, you could be doing it for a whole nother reason. And I did the Anna flip chart thing too, but I added that totally in, and everyone was looking at it with me, which
Awesome.
I never did before. I only left it in the host packet. I hardly ever talked about it. So I'm already doing it, but I might do the stealing hearts the next
Okay,
one.
awesome. Well, applause different, right? And sometimes you just have to say, just do it. And you just go for it, right? So good for you, Alicia. Awesome.
Can I tell you a story that happened to me yesterday? I hope that am I going in and out, or can you guys hear me okay?
I can hear you now, but you were earlier. But go ahead.
I know, this hotel internet. But so I was at my party yesterday, and it's a woman. I don't remember being at her house. Evidently, she said I was there years ago. But I was going through and been doing my host coaching with her, talking about, making sure that I'm talking about the business like 3 times, before I even get to the party. Well, she literally said to me, they're on a text, right before the party, maybe Friday, do not ask me anymore about whether I want to do this business, because I do not, Anna. Like, that's what she said. She said, and I was like, okay, I just graciously was like, okay, good. I never, like, she was like, stop asking me. Like, because she can be like that, very, And so I was like, so literally it's Saturday morning. I'm so freaking tired. And I'm driving to the party, and I'm thinking, like, I'm not going to ask anybody. Like, I probably should not even talk about business at the party, because she does not want me to ask it. And I said, nope, I'm doing it anyway. I'm still going to talk it. And I had a lady, never have met her before, signed her on the dot right there.
Oh my goodness.
Kit. Actually,
Unreal.
the kit too. And I have 2 other very strong recruit meets from there. So
unreal.
it just amazed, like, it was just that kind of thing. I told her that too. To be honest, I wasn't even going to talk about this. She was very excited that we found people, that people were interested in it. But I said, because you told me that, Michelle, I almost didn't. She's like, no.
Yes, because you can get so psyched out. And see, and that's just amazing that you just didn't. You didn't get psyched out.
I said, I always, and that's how I feel. Like, I always just want to make sure everybody knows everything,
all their options,
them, right? We want to know
right.
what's here. And here, this woman literally, her husband had just said, you probably should start. You really need a job. She just got her home office set up. Like, it was just perfect. It was exactly what she needed. And if I had gone in there and not talked about it, she wouldn't have had that opportunity. And if I didn't do it and didn't give her the opportunity, somebody else might have. So, that's right. We need.
That's awesome. Great testimonial.
Yeah, but it was just I was like, oh, I'm so glad that I did. So.
Oh, I bet you were. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Great news. So, anything else?
We're good. I'm excited. I know the homework and stuff that I've gotten. I know we told you guys to book parties, and you guys booked parties. That's exciting, to get those on the schedule and stuff. So I'm wicked excited. And Jen Tagle got invited, and Shannon got invited into the Rock Your Recruiting promotion thing, training thing. And you guys know I do not put you up for that. Like, the home office finds you. They didn't put your name in that for Jen Tagle. Like, they found you and said, like, they want you in. So that was very exciting. Jen and Shannon both got asked to do that. So they're going to be rocking their recruiting this month too.
Okay, so I haven't really looked at the chat, so I'm just peeking in that. Okay.
It was not all me, Jen Tagle. I told you. Shannon tried to say it was me too, and I said, no, I don't do that.
Okay. All right, I guess that we're good then, right?
We're good.
All right. Well, thank you, and Anna, have a wonderful time.
I'll see
Wow, I
you.
can't believe that. So you're already on your road trip. That's
I am.
amazing.
Vacation has started. Vacation has started for me. So I will see you. Jeannie and I are going to be at the home office on Wednesday and Thursday for the Lead Plus seminar. So you better watch out next Sunday. I will be on the call. I'm going to be, because I'll be down at Terry's all next week. I'm going to go to one of Terry's cooking shows, and I'm also going to go to one of Missy Iltz's cooking shows too. Because, you know, she's a super,
And where do they live again? Did you say?
like middle Illinois, in the middle of freaking corn country. I mean, like, it's right outside of Springfield. It's the middle of nowhere. And Missy and Terry both, I swear, their cooking show averages are like over $1,000 a show.
Wow.
Yeah. So I want to go see what they're doing. So I weaseled myself into that.
How fun. Maybe you're going to have to go live or have it taped. Ask them if you can videotape or anything.
That's what I'll do. I'll just secretly do this at the party. I'll write for the Moving On Up program. Moving On Up. We're just going to do that. So.
Yeah, that'd be nice to have an average over 1,000. My goodness.
Yeah, really. Good for you, Alicia. That's a great cooking show.
Oh, I missed it. What'd she say?
It's her cooking show from yesterday was almost $500.
Woohoo! Yes.
Alicia's on fire.
Oh, I love big numbers like that.
Yeah. There's still time for her to get it to 1,000, Alicia.
Yeah, I know those outside orders. That's huge. Get those outside orders after the show.
Yeah. Good, good. All right. Well, great job. Great call, guys. Great. I'm excited. I can't believe we have 2 more to go with you guys. So, again, I'm excited because this is when I'm starting to see things happen. Vicki had a recruit this week. Alicia? Yes, we had a recruit. Alicia's had a couple.
Well, Dottie's having someone who's re-signing on her team too.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
awesome.
Is that crazy? Shannon's had a couple recruits this week. 2 recruits
Wow.
for Shannon. Crazy, crazy, crazy.
Yeah, that's a lot going on.
Very
Good.
exciting.
Very exciting. You know what? And you guys are going to see it. You're going to see it in a couple months how that's going to impact your team, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Woo!
So, good.
Good job,
All right,
gals.
have a great week, guys. Have a great night. And I'll be on next Sunday. We'll be back in the same place, same time. Well, I won't be in the same place. I'll be in Illinois then.
Okay. And Dottie, I'm going to give you a call, okay? Are you available? Okay.
Yeah. All right. Good night.